What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Christian. I'm with my co-host Mario. This is Nothing But Sports Talk, the channel where we do talk nothing but sports. Today we're going to be talking some Donovan Mitchell news as the sparks have been flying around the Jazz, trying to get rid of him, but they're asking a lot for him. But without a doubt, let's run that intro and let's get straight into it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys, and the first team that we think probably has the best chance of landing Donovan Mitchell is the New York Knicks. The Knicks do have a lot to offer, but the Jazz's asking price is way too high for them to pretty much agree to any terms. It was reported that they asked for 4 players, and those players being Emmanuel Quickly,
Quentin Grimes.
Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin, and Miles McBride, along with 6 future first-round picks. 6.
That's
I personally don't think Donovan Mitchell is worth that much of value that they're asking for. But with how the offseason is gone, with how the Rudy Gobert trade went down, how many picks they got, how many players they got, anything's possible at this point. But I personally want to give up all those pieces for Donovan Mitchell, even though Donovan Mitchell to New York would probably be kind of nasty. I'm not going to lie. But they do have the assets to trade for him, but the Utah is just asking for way too much.
Yeah, way too much. I mean, let alone there's another guy on the market named Kevin Durant. If you're a team, you'd much rather trade 6 first-round picks for Kevin Durant instead of
Kevin Durant, yeah.
Donovan Mitchell. And even then, I don't think Brooklyn's going to get 6 first-round picks out of Kevin Durant either. I think they're insane for even asking for that. But I get it. I mean, you set the bar high and then you come back down to earth, and they'll probably get around like 4 first-round picks and some decent young players. I think it's going to be a similar package as Rudy Gobert. I think that's going to turn into the standard. I think Rudy Gobert kind of set that market value because I think those two have similar value in different ways. But honestly, I don't know.
Dude,
I think
insane.
The Knicks
It's
would be
crazy.
interesting, but if they're going to be having to give up 6 or 5 first-round picks, I don't see why.
I just wouldn't do it.
I mean, that team is not good enough to compete, I think, at a high level with Julius Randle and then like who's
RJ Barrett, John Brown. Yeah, dude, they would still need.
I love
more pieces.
RJ. I love.
I
RJ,
do too.
but he's not going to be.
They would still need. They will still need more.
The other teams in the East, Jimmy, they're gonna have to deal with Jimmy. They're gonna have to deal with Giannis. They're gonna have to deal with JT and JB. They're gonna have to deal with DeMar DeRozan.
They gotta deal with us. Fuck you talking about?
I was getting to us. We're gonna have to deal with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. They're just gonna have to deal with all these people and Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell, and then RJ Barrett. It's not gonna do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, they're still gonna need more than that.
That's just that to me. That team is not worth 6 first-round picks to trade for. You know what I mean?
Hell
I mean?
No.
Yeah,
No. Hell no. I wouldn't do that. Like if Kevin Durant, if people are declining that, if Brooklyn's asking for that KD and people are starting doing it, then that should say that it's bad, dude. Utah are just they're getting a little stingy, so we'll see what happens.
But that's our first most realistic.
That is it for the Knicks. Yeah.
All right, guys, for our next team, we have the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets have been in all the headlines this offseason. Everybody's talking about them. We're talking about Kyrie. We're talking about KD. We're talking about anybody. We're talking about Steve Nash just because. Talking about anybody.
They're in the headlines for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, literally. So
the wrong reasons.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is a good reason, though. I mean, if you can get Donovan Mitchell to pair with Kyrie and KD, if you can convince him to stay after getting Donovan, but that's a huge risk to be taken. If that's the plan, then I like it. But if it backfires, then you're in a bit of a hole because you just traded everything in your back pocket for Donovan Mitchell. Let's go over.
That's why.
Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I would like. I would probably, if I'm the Nets, I would probably ask KD. I'm like, yo, we go get Mitchell. Are you running it back or that way if he doesn't want to still, then fuck.
All right, guys, let's hop into this trade. I just hopped on Trade Machine. Just cooked up a quick little trade. And I think this seems realistic. We both talked about it. I think it seems pretty realistic. So we have the Utah Jazz getting Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, and Cam Thomas. And Brooklyn would be getting Donovan Mitchell and Bojan Bogdanovic. Utah would also be getting 4 first-round picks. I mean, I think 4 first-round picks, Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Cam Thomas, that's a pretty fat haul. I mean, Cam Thomas is a walking bucket. Ben Simmons, I mean, people hate on him a lot, but he's still a very valuable player.
He's a stud, bro. I like him, yeah.
One of the best defenders in the league. And then you also have Seth Curry, just that vet presence. I mean, that team's not going to – you're not looking for win-now players or anything, but Seth Curry would be a good vet to have on that team. And then Ben Simmons is a young cat. Cam Thomas, that is a super young guy. I mean, I think you add that up with Walker Kessler and all those guys that they just got in the Rudy Gobert trade, and that's a huge young core to look forward to for the next 10 years because, I mean, that'd be 9 draft picks that they just got. So
yeah, that's a haul.
Yeah.
If you combine those with what they got for Rudy Gobert,
that's what I'm saying, yeah. Like
there's no way that they don't land a nice player in the draft, and they'll have 9 opportunities to do so. And also, if Brooklyn, once they get those players, I don't see why they would not want to run it back with Donovan Mitchell on the squad too, even adding Bojan. Also, I don't see why they wouldn't want to do that. I think it's personally probably a win-win situation for both of them, especially if KD does decide to run it back with Donovan Mitchell there. Kyrie Irving, Bojan's still going to be there.
You'd have Bojan.
Dude, I don't see why they wouldn't want to do that. Too. That's a good bet to
have. So yeah, I mean that's a solid trade package I think for both teams. If getting Donovan Mitchell and Bojan for the Nets means that you get to keep your 2 stars and add an additional one, plus a nice 3-and-D wing who's proven to be able to be a valuable scorer, I mean that's a very solid outcome if you're the Nets. And then on the Jazz's part, you're getting 3 young guys except for Seth. You're getting 2 young guys and a good vet. And you're getting 4 first-round picks to add on top of the pile of picks you just got. I mean, I think that's a win-win situation. That's the reason why they're second most realistic.
Alrighty, and for the final team that we think probably has the best chances of possibly landing Donovan Mitchell is going to be the Miami Heat. Reason why they do have, I think, the players to throw in a trade. The issue with them is their draft capital. They really don't have much to work with because we know for a fact they would have to throw in Tyler Hero, Nikola Jovic, who they just drafted this past draft. They have 3 first-round picks that we know of so far. This is where it gets tricky after that. They definitely have to get a 13 involved. And it's pretty difficult to come up with that 13 considering who has all these assets as well. The Heat, that's why it's a little bit more complicated with the Heat, but I think it's still very realistic for them to go down. I don't think it shouldn't be that difficult to find a third team to get involved in this trade to land him. I think to me, him, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo still there if they keep him. I think that would be a pretty decent team.
Yeah. I mean, we already seen that team in the Eastern Conference Finals. Saw them in the finals like 2-3 years ago. I mean, that team is no joke. I mean, I think they're just missing that one piece because Jimmy's had to carry this team on his back for years, and it's not a healthy thing to do. I mean, if they get him some help, with a guy like Donovan Mitchell, I mean, the sky's the limit for that team because the main issue with Miami is that they don't have another offensive juggernaut. They have elite shooters and they have Jimmy Butler. That's it. They have elite shooters and Jimmy Butler.
And then with literally, and then Bam Adebayo, that's it.
And Bam Adebayo.
It's really mostly like lob guy. He's developed the jump shot, but
then Bam,
really
that boy disappeared in the playoffs.
Not only that, I was just going to get into Kyle Lowry too. He disappeared in the playoffs also. He was a liability for them in the Eastern Conference Finals. I feel like if he would have done a lot more.
He just wasn't the same Kyle Lowry for that whole season. That was not the same Kyle Lowry that was in Toronto. I think that, I mean, honestly, if I'm a Miami fan, I think I'm looking at that and I'm thinking we made a mistake. We gave this dude like what, $35 million a year? That's a huge mistake. At that age,
a huge bag, dude.
at that age, you could have gave that money to another guy this year, and
younger guy, dude.
A younger guy, and Kyle Lowry.
A lot younger.
I mean, he might have well not even have played. Gabe Vincent probably would have done a better job as a starting point guard.
Dude, for real.
So
I mean, that's just the truth, dude.
That's just the truth. I mean, that's the truth of the situation. But you can't really do much but try and make the best of it. So I think making the best of it would be making a trade like that. Especially if getting a third team involved means you really don't even have to give up that much, and it'd probably be like 3 first-round picks, Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry, like you were saying. So I mean, I would do that if I'm Miami. I think that's a no-brainer if you can get a third team involved. But that's the hard part, is getting that third team involved.
Yeah, so dude, that's the hard part. Finding a team that has the capital, has some young assets. He just needs that second scorer with him. Jimmy Butler does, and Donovan Mitchell can definitely put up points. I mean, he's not that great on defense, but the Heat, they're still pretty. They got some defenders on that team.
He wouldn't even need to worry about that.
Yeah, dude, he's just gonna have to worry about that puck in the hole, dude, because that's pretty much all they needed these past playoffs, dude. Jimmy Butler was just carrying the load, as we saw over and over again these past playoffs, and it's gonna probably eventually just wear him down even more, for being honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, if you're looking at Jimmy Butler and Donovan Mitchell, they're two guys who are in similar situations. They're the primary ball handler of their team, and they're the only guy who can score the ball on any given moment. If you combine those two in the same team, I can definitely see that blossoming into something pretty big. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then Donovan Mitchell's still young, so.
Yeah, very young. But, yeah, that's right. They are number 3. Yeah, that's 3, right?
Yeah, that is number 3.
Yeah. All right, guys, we appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, these have been our 3 most realistic possible trade destinations for Donovan Mitchell and the Utah Jazz. I think we came up with some solid ones. If you guys have some creative ideas, let us know in the comments. As always, make sure you guys leave a like. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, and definitely turn on that notification bell, as well, as it always only helps the channel. Without a doubt, guys, this has been nothing but sports talk with my co-host Mario. I'm Christian. Appreciate you guys. We're out.
Peace out.